All right, guys. So moving right along here, this is the spoiler kind of warning. We are going to talk, even though I guess I should have gave a spoiler warning for the previous segment, obviously, but the news was out there, so it is what it is. But spoiler filled warning if you haven't seen the actual finale. Although, like I said, we did just kind of cover some stuff that kind of happened in the finale, but it was kind of by virtue of that news story that's already public information. So it kind of is what it is. Sorry about that if you hadn't seen it. Well, we're gonna get into the Falcon Winter Soldier finale here, give our kind of thoughts, review that, and everything. So, just right off the top, for me, I thought they ended it very well. I know some people, and some people maybe in this room here, thought it was kind of like a rushed episode. Thought they threw a lot of information at you. I didn't really feel that. I thought it was fine. I thought everything was good. I tend to feel like all of these things are kind of too short anyway. Like in these episodes, like thank God they were not 20 minutes long like WandaVision was. I hated it. Like, it's every time I've said it before, and I'll say it again, especially if Loki is the same way. Every time I got into the episode of WandaVision, it was just over. Then I was looking at credits, and then I'd look and see how long the episode is, and it's like, "Oh, cool, it's 30 minutes," and then you get into it, and it's like, "Oh, but that's 13 minutes of credits." Like, it was only 20 minutes long. Like, I hated it. I hated it. And I would have kind of liked to have seen some areas of the entire series of this show, The Falcon Winter Soldier or Captain America and the Winter Soldier, whatever we want to call it now. I would have liked to have seen the whole thing like kind of spread out a bit. Like there were some things that like they just did rush by nature of they did this in 6 episodes. Had they done it in 10 or 13, it wouldn't have felt as rushed. You know what I mean? Like they didn't like they had I feel like a lot of the stuff with US agent, John Walker, I liked the character, and I liked the way he's portrayed. They could have definitely expanded on him a little bit more, had a couple more scenes with him, flush his character out a little bit more. Um, the Sharon Carter thing as well. She just kind of popped up randomly, did some things, and then was gone. But I like where all this stuff was going. I liked where everything went. We obviously could have used more of Zemo dancing, obviously. Um, so I mean, I think overall I really enjoyed the show. It worked for me. I like how everything ended. I think the biggest takeaway from this, before we get into actually like breaking stuff down in any way, was going into this thing, I didn't want them to just give somebody the shield and now they're Captain America. Pretty much like they did with John Walker. Because it's like that's not how it works. Like you're not Captain America. Like that's just a shield and that's just a name. Like Steve Rogers is Captain America. That's how it works. But they gave very good narrative purpose and reasoning for Sam and his journey throughout the entire show to actually become Captain America and have that moniker actually mean something in a different way than it meant something as Steve Rogers being Captain America, but also in a just as important, if not like more important way for him to be Captain America. It wasn't him just putting on a suit and just I'm Captain America now, like and I'm going to go out and do things as Captain America. Like he has reasons to not want to do it at the beginning of the show, and then at the end of the show, there were damn good reasons for him to actually do it. So I really appreciated the actual narrative purpose behind all that, primarily because when I went into it, I didn't want him to be called Captain America. I just wanted him to keep being Falcon and just use the shield. I thought that'd be fine. I don't know why he'd have to call himself Captain America. But the fact that they went into all the stuff with Isaiah and gave like again like a strong narrative purpose for like Sam to be like a black man as Captain America and have that mean something like for the overall MCU world in general and like I mean even our world. I liked that. It was good. And now like I'm because they took the extra steps to actually flush that out, like I'm happy he's calling himself Captain America because it means something. You know what I mean? So but what was your guys's Rick, what was your thoughts on the show overall? We can get more into it here.
You pretty much summed it up. I mean, like the whole not wanting to be Captain America at first, and then throughout the series, just kind of finding reason to be Captain America. And then for me, I thought it was cool seeing him as Captain America at the end of it. I was like, damn, all right, okay, he's doing this, and he did it well. And
He did some cool stuff with the suit and the shield and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. And John Walker kind of redeemed himself in my book. Just gonna say it. I mean, it was weird to see him like just helping them, and they're like totally cool with it. But I mean, I guess what else was supposed to happen? I will say though, the show Winter Soldier Bucky, he's definitely not a standout character. Like it's almost more like Falcon, and Bucky's just there as like support almost. That's what I think. But I liked it. It was a good show. We talked about it on the stream a little bit. I thought it was a little rushed. Just way too much stuff happening in one episode, but it wrapped up well. So
Yeah, I know I've heard a lot of people say it was kind of rushed, and that's where like I felt that way about the whole thing. Like, you know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Like that's like what I was saying. Like I could have used
they do
10
that.
episodes of this.
That's
You
what they do
know,
with these shows. Yeah, they just have to
they're just so
congeal it
short.
into one.
Yeah, like WandaVision was how long was WandaVision? 9 episodes, but it was I think it had less of a runtime. Like people kept saying, I've you said this before. People kept complaining about, oh, we only have like 2 episodes left of this, and we had 4 episodes of WandaVision at this point in time. It's like, yeah, but WandaVision, I think runtime is shorter in all 9 episodes than this.
Yeah,
It's like that was a short ass show. It
yeah,
doesn't matter if they stretched it out 9 weeks. It means nothing. It was still less content.
right.
No, it might not have been, but it may have been around the same. I don't really, but I feel like I think Falcon Winter Soldier was longer. Like
I would
it
say
had to have
so.
been longer. All the episodes averaged like an hour. All of Wanda's averaged like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
So it has like 3 hours on it or something. Like there's just more
right.
content there, or 2 hours or something.
Something.
Either way, who cares? I could obviously I could watch this stuff all day. I will agree with you in some ways. Like this wasn't supposed to be Bucky's show. It was obviously about Falcon becoming Captain America. And that was the point. But Winter Soldier being like my favorite character in the damn MCU, I would have liked to have seen more. But
Yeah, I get that.
that's just me. So, John, what do you think about it overall, though?
Um, I love the series overall. I do feel that the last episode was a little rushed. And I'm not exactly sure why that is. I feel like they could have added another 15 minutes to that last episode and fleshed out some of the decisions that were made, so some of the character motivations that were made a little better. Um, but overall, I thought it was an excellent series. It maintained that high bar that Marvel has set for all their projects. I was happy that Sam obviously becomes Captain America. I was happy that Bucky, as much as I get where you're coming from, that Bucky is the main series is the main crux of the story is about Sam and what happens with the shield, and I get that. That's definitely true. But there was some great character growth and development that happened with Bucky. He has the great scene with Sam where in the previous episode where Sam is kind of using his experience as a kind of trauma counselor for these guys and gals that have been in war situations, and kind of says to Buck, look, you know, you've been trying to avenge stuff that you've done before, but you haven't done the work. You haven't tried to actually heal those wounds that you feel responsible for. And to see Bucky go and have the conversation with the older man about what happened with his son, like that was a scene that emotionally was impactful and worked for me. But I also feel like it could have even been more impactful had they given it another couple minutes of airtime, had they expanded that conversation, have Bucky, because I think, oh God, I'm going to forget his name. The guy that plays Bucky,
Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan, thank you. As with that, as we saw with that scene where they're testing him to make sure the coating is gone around the fireplace from a few episodes prior. He's such a great actor that he could have pulled off that scene a lot more had they given him some more material to work with. But it almost felt like they were just wrapping things up, and they felt like they had to get the show done, and they kind of brushed over that scene. They gave you the highlights of what was going on, but I felt like that scene could have had a little more space to breathe in. And but overall it was good. I kind of forget where else I was going with that. So I felt like Bucky still had some significant character growth and development in the series. So I was happy with where his character ended up at the end. Sam was great. They introduced some stuff. Part of me wonders how much of this show is the narrative of this show is impacted by the pandemic. I mean, we've heard things about Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, Contessa something something, De Farincia, I forget.
Val.
We've heard, yeah, Val. We've heard that she's she was supposed to have debuted in Black Widow, and that this was kind of supposed to be her second appearance. So it'll be curious to see how well it plays. After we've seen her in Black Widow, if her role in this makes more sense. And then we talked on the stream last night about I personally felt like the John Walker stuff felt very rushed, because at the end of the previous episode, we see his last two scenes in the previous episode are, not counting the final cap where he's making his janky, DIY cap shield. But the last two scenes we see him, one is him yelling at the governing committee who anointed him Captain America, that they can't take it away from him. He's Captain America. They have no authority to take that away from him, and storming out in a rage. And then him talking with Val. And those were the last two scenes. There was nothing in between that and him in this episode kind of redeeming himself. I do feel that they tried to redeem him. I completely agree with Rick that, when he makes the choice to save the van of civilians versus go after Carly, that's definitely them showing, hey, he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to build himself. But there was no scene that showed him showing remorse for the things he had done, or showing him have this epiphany, or this even the consideration that the way he had been going about things might be the wrong way, and that maybe he had gone over the line and he needed to reanalyze the way he approached things. So I'm his character motivations and some of the stuff they did with him were a little, I don't know, for lack of a better way to put it, forced to me. But overall, excellent series, very good. Those are very minor quips, and I feel bad even kind of mentioning him in a way, because so much of the rest of it was so good.
Yeah, and that's the thing with John Walker. I don't feel like he was really redeemed. I'm in the complete opposite camp of this, where I don't think he was did a bad thing. I just feel like he made the choice that he would have made pre-serum and all that stuff. Like, he was a soldier, he would have been given orders to get the civilians out, so he did that. Like, he did what he was trained to do in that situation. Because
True.
as Bucky and Sam had complete character growth throughout the story, like I said off the top, and like you said, at the beginning, Bucky couldn't go through and give his, amends to everybody or whatever, and at the end he does. Sam didn't want to be Captain America, at the end he does. John Walker is in the same place he was at the beginning as he was at the end. It's the same thing. Like, he had no real growth. He's the same guy,
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing. It just means that we should at least see way more of that. Because you're right, he didn't have that come to Jesus moment. He just, in my opinion, he just did what he would have done in any situation. Like, he saved the people,
Right.
that's, it is what it is. So you could say in that moment, though, he set his vengeance aside. But I feel like, as a soldier, that's what he would have been given orders to do, and that's kind of why he did it. Like, it wasn't out of character for him to save the people, really. You know what I mean? Like,
No.
it was, I guess, out of the character that we've seen or had just seen. I could see why it would be kind of out of character for him to not go kill Carly instead. But I could just as easily see why he chose to save the people. You know what I mean? Especially if he wants, maybe in his head too, he knows if he does it, he'll be able to be Captain America still. Maybe it was for selfish reasons, and they just don't elaborate on it. Because I could see that happening too. Well, if I save these people, I mean, they are part of some of the committee and senators are in this thing, so maybe he'll still be Cap. Who knows? I'm
Right.
sure, in that split second, a lot of things were running through his mind. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one of the things I did like and at least appreciate though throughout the series in general here in the finale was Sam gets the shield and he gets the suit and all this stuff and yay, he's Captain America now. But what I really liked is that when he went in here and fought Batroc, he didn't just beat his ass because he's Captain America now.
Yeah.
Batroc still beat him.
Yeah.
I mean, we could say it was a draw, but Falcon had to run. He couldn't beat him. He had to leave to save the helicopter thing. Like, he couldn't just, because that's a classic thing they would do in a lot of, like, stories. It's like, "Well, now that I've got my super suit or whatever, now
Yeah.
I can just lay waste to you." Like, nah, Batroc still was better than him at fighting. So, like, I liked that. Like, he was still had limitations, not just because now he's called Captain America, he wins the fight. So I
Right.
appreciated that. Then we see the only other, like, kind of notable thing throughout here, because all this stuff's just kind of standard, but the first idea you get that uh Sharon is the power broker, in my opinion, is when she freaking like mercury gases that dude.
Oh yeah.
Like, because I mean, it's kind of like, we all had the rumors and speculation that, like, yeah, she's probably a power broker. Seems like it. There was also some contradictory information as to why she would be, because the power broker was like sending goons after her and Falcon to kill them. So, like, why would she be the power broker if
It's a
she's
little
sending people?
contradictory.
Yeah, it's like, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense. But as soon as she like burns the dude alive, I was like, yeah, she probably is the power broker. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't
Oh yeah.
seem like, she definitely seems like she broke bad here, like, for sure. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with that. The other thing I do have to note that I really, really appreciated is that his Wish.com shield got broken immediately.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was all dented up, and just he wasted all that time and ruined his Medal of Honors for no goddamn reason.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty funny. And I don't know if it was funny, but I liked it at least. Um, yeah, but then the saving people, that all made sense. Power broker scene. We missing anything? Because, like, overall, like, I liked everything. Like, they did do some cool stuff with the
The
suit.
visuals were cool.
The
Like that
visuals
scene
were
there.
cool, and I liked when Sam had to save. This is another example of how he wasn't just like he could do anything now that he's Captain America. When John Walker went to save the bus or the van, a truck of people, but then it still started falling, Sam swooped in and to like try to get it, but like he couldn't by himself. Like, he couldn't just lift it up and throw it like freaking like Bucky or John Walker could have actually like held the thing. Like, he had to have his freaking thruster on, like, full blast, and then these little smaller additional engines had to come out, attach itself to the truck, and then it could finally move.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, like, a little bit more practical and realistic. But I love the scene right here, though, when he comes down and he's just, like, laying the smack down on these senators, dude.
Oh yeah. He just spits it.
Yeah, it's just like, what like, it made a whole lot of sense. It's like, you have to you have to stop calling them terrorists, and like, you have to actually realize, why did so many people follow her cause? Like, what you guys are doing is wrong. Like, whether or not it's like, it neither thing. It's not just black and white in this situation. Like,
Right.
because I get where the senator's coming from. Like, yeah, all these people came back, and now they, is it not right for them to just not be able to live in their house? Well, no, but it's also not right for you just to kick all these people who've lived there for 5 years on the road either.
Right.
Like, it's just like, you gotta deal with the problems, not just create new ones, and it all just, like, it was nice to see. He was being the mediator Sam that we know him to be. You know what I mean? That's why, if anything, throughout the show, you really got to see, like, kinda how cool of a character they made Falcon out to be.
Yeah. I'd
'Cause,
say so.
yeah, like, in, like, the Captain America movies, he was just kinda like almost like a quippy sidekick, like, in a lot of ways. But, like, we knew he had a little bit of depth to him because of how you actually initially get introduced to him, like, doing the VA meetings or whatever he was doing. But
Mhm.
that really got flushed out here, and I, like, appreciated that. And again, it just gave a lot of narrative purpose to, like, more reasoning behind why Sam, like, both is worthy for, like, the mantle of Captain America, and then, like, also the narrative purpose behind just, uh like, the imagery or the kinda influence. I don't know what the word that I'm trying to think of is, just the kinda overall meaning for the world of him, like a black man being Captain America right now, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like going against what because even Isaiah Thomas, or is it Jackson? I think it's Isaiah Thomas. But even him at the end when he saw Sam give him the speech on camera, even Isaiah Thompson was proud that he was there wearing that suit as Captain America, when he was the one who was like, no self-respecting black man would ever want to be Captain America.
Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley, that's him.
I was like, I don't think it's Thomas.
I was like, I don't know where I got Thomas from. I wonder if there's like a There is an Isaiah Thomas. Is he like a basketball player or
He's a
something?
basketball player,
Exactly.
yes.
See, I'm not crazy, dude. I knew it.
Pistons, Detroit Pistons,
There
yeah.
we go. Yeah.
And
See,
well, now there was a more recent one that was played for the Celtics. So
yeah. I knew the name from somewhere. I knew that's why it sounded right in my head. I was like, yeah, it's Thompson.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the one thing they did, I think best overall here was gave great narrative purpose to like all these big points. Things didn't just happen for the sake of happening.
Right.
Like, and then honestly, you saw why it couldn't do like you saw why Captain America couldn't just be whoever has the shield through John Walker. Like it has
yeah,
to mean something. And so I like the juxtaposition of that. Like you got to see like it doesn't work if you do that, and then how it does work if you have a reason to do it and you're standing for something. You're a symbol, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, they should have used more red in this suit.
They should have.
There's just way too much white and shit going on. I get that this is damn near exactly how it looked in the comics. I get it. But I just think I still like his original suit from the beginning of the show better.
It was
You know what I
a good
mean?
suit.
Cap suit. That I will agree. The white is a little much. Like
It's
there's
yeah,
a
it's just
lot of
it's
it on the
loud.
suit.
Yeah.
It gets almost distracting how much it's on there. But I will say this: I don't think Steve Rogers' Cap had the same suit in any two movies throughout the
Yeah,
series.
it's true.
So my hope is that they retool it a little bit. They've given us the comic accurate version, and now maybe they retool it a little bit for whatever his next appearance is.
Mhm.
Just real quick about this scene, there's a couple things as I was watching this scene. There's a couple things that kind of hit me about it. One of the things was I feel like as much as him putting on the suit and falling through the window and like coming up and fighting Batroc, like that's him being Captain America. I feel like this scene is where Sam for me becomes Captain America because
Yeah.
Captain America stands for this idea of being the best that you can be, doing the things that are hard work, not taking the easy road out. I think that was, Steve Rogers, I can do this all day. That was, reiterated multiple times throughout his tenure as Cap. And then going back to Ursing's final conversation with Steve the night before he gives him the serum, he says, promise me you'll stay what you are, a good person. And I think that this scene with Sam saying, "Look, you guys aren't doing the hard work. You're not doing what needs to be done. You're not. We need to not take the easy road, even if it's difficult. We need to do the right thing." I think that was Sam showing that he is, as if we didn't know it already, but it's him reaffirming to us and everybody else in the world that's watching him in the MCU that he's a good person, that he's not somebody who's going to take the easy road out, that he is completely worthy of the mantle of Captain America. And so I found that scene to be particularly poignant, and also kind of it goes along with it was reiterated when you got back to you know Captain America Winter Soldier. There's Sharon Carter's when Sharon Carter, right, is telling the story about her her aunt and how she said, move when you can, but when you I'm going to butcher the quote. It was something about, be flexible, work with people when you can, but when you find a position that you feel is right and is right in your heart and everybody else is telling you you're wrong, plant yourself like a tree and don't be moved. And that's what Sam's doing here. He could easily say, "Hey, look, I want to be the new Cap. I want to be somebody that young black kids can look up to. I want to show the world that all these people who don't think that I'm deserving, that they're wrong. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to be that. I'm going to agree with these people on this thing because they feel that these people, the people that came back, should get their stuff back. I'm going to go ahead and just fold my ideals and my beliefs and go along with what they're saying." He doesn't do that. He goes completely against that in a very public way, even at the risk of alienating people that he may need assistance from in this new role that he's chosen to take on. And so just his strength of character in that moment, and the way he goes about talking with people and saying, look, we have to do the work, I think is him ultimately becoming the Captain America that the MCU, the MCU needs. And so I found that scene very, very powerful and very moving, and an excellent transition into him being the new Cap.
I totally
Yeah.
agree. Like that,
Yeah.
if no one thought that he was quote unquote worthy of it, like that scene was like the perfect.
Yeah, that made him worthy
Like
of
that's
it.
it. Like that's the scene you play, and you're like, well, here's why. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, there, like that's his audition tape. It's
Right.
like, well, there you got the role. Like, good job. Well, one of the last things that I really liked, at least that I could think of off the top of my head, was I loved this last bit because they showed the like the other flag smasher dudes. They get like arrested and they get moved, and then the dude's like, one people or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you see Zemo's Alfred there, and I was
Yep.
just like, "Oh yeah!" And then you have that scene of just Zemo like watching it and just like going to like resting easy. His work is done.
Right.
It was really
Grins,
good.
yeah.
It was good, man. Like I was like, "That's great." So I'm glad that happened. I mean, it's a shame that of all the bad guys, those ones were like at least the dude with the hair. He wasn't really cool with anything Carly was doing. So I mean, maybe like what I mean, he was of the Flag Smashers, the dude with the hair.
Yeah.
Like he was like
Oh, they
kind of
even
like always like, should we be doing
questioning
this?
her, sure.
Yeah,
Well, there was even the scene early in the episode where all three of her minions, for lack of a better way to
yeah,
put it, like she says, like one people, or what I forget their phrase, one world, and then they're supposed to respond one people, and they
yeah,
don't right away because they all at that point are kind of like, I don't know, are we taking it too far? Is this is this what we really signed up for?
yeah,
So yeah, I can see definitely what you're saying. Like he was always questioning her, but even the other two at some point were like, "Has she gone off the rails here?"
yeah. Like
Yeah.
now she's like just turning this into like, well, we're just gonna kill everybody.
Right.
Like,
Basically.
is that we?
Vendetta, and not
Yeah.
not what she's
It's like we just wanted to send a message and like get our houses back. We didn't really want to kill anybody. Like, but yeah. So it is kind of a shame that in some ways you could look at it that they they got killed because like they were probably gonna be good,
Right.
maybe. But I mean, I like that Zemo at least got some sort of like I said, his job is done. He laid down in bed. He could rest easy at least for tonight until there's another thing he's after. Until the Thunderbolts.
True.
Like
yeah.
at this point, like that's now with U.S. Agent getting his official U.S. Agent garb. I am leaning towards they might be doing a Thunderbolt series. Like that might be the season 2 of this show.
Right.
Season 2,
Season
just
2.
the continuation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because I could very well see that. They set both Zemo and U.S. Agent up in here, and then you also had the what was it? I mean, we said before we're one Hulkling away from Young Avengers. So,
Young
'cause
Avengers.
yeah, Isaiah Bradley's grandson's in here, so Hawkeye's coming. So they could do like Thunderbolts versus Young Avengers. They
Mhm.
could be setting that up before our eyes. That actually be
Yeah.
good. That because like the Thunderbolts are never like. I mean, some iterations are. If you have like Agent Venom and Deadpool and Punisher on the Thunderbolt and Red Hulk, like yeah, that's an Avengers level threat. But if it's just U.S. Agent and Zemo and that'd be a good like Young Avengers team to go up against because then it's like they're not pushovers, but they're also not Avengers level threats. So like that could actually work depending
Yeah.
on who fills out the roster. That'd be kind
Yeah.
of cool. I kind of actually want to see that now. That could be interesting. But then, yeah, we got the scene where I do agree it could have been a little bit longer, but I also liked it. I didn't think we needed too much cry time, so
No.
like it was probably fine with it not happening. This was very nice too. The end tag
Oh,
with
I
great.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
that was good because I mean that's probably why they cut it short because it was too much cry time at that point. Like this is just one thing after another.
Right.
So yeah, it was good. I mean
It was
that's pretty
good.
much it. Yeah, that wraps it up. You guys got anything else you want to add? That was pretty much it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the after credit scene was just
Oh
Sharon
yeah, with
Carter
Sharon
revealing
getting
herself,
yeah, exactly.
confirming that she is in fact the power worker. I mean, they heavily implied it, but that was the confirmation scene, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Where she says where you have access to.
Who do you think she's talking to? Because I'm wondering if she was just
Just
maybe she's in too deep and she's not the power broker. It's like she's saying she was. Well, actually, no.
yeah.
She didn't even say she was.
I
Batroc
thought she
assumed she
did.
was. Batroc said, "So you're the power broker."
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, didn't because
Yeah,
then
I don't
Carly
know.
said, like, "You're the power broker," but I think realistically, she never admitted to being the power broker. Technically.
Okay.
I'm it was heavily implied, no matter what, that she was. But she is talking to somebody. So maybe
And
if
she's talking about selling US
yeah.
munitions and weaponry to
Yeah.
bidders, not necessarily good people,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Yeah.
bidders in general. So
Yeah.
I kind of took that just as the confirmation, but yeah, I guess she never like said, "Ha ha ha, I am the power broker."
Yeah,
Anything.
but I
So
mean, she probably is, but I still could see them doing something where she's, like, in too deep with somebody who actually is the power broker maybe, but, like, maybe she has gone full heel, though, because she definitely has character motivations to be a bad guy at this point. At least I think they
sure.
gave him to her, like, her country abandoned her and, like, spent 5 years pretty much for doing the right thing and helping
Yeah.
Captain America. Her country, betrayed her, like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, so it's like, that's definitely enough for you to, not be so nice anymore. So
Yeah.
I really could see it going either way. I wonder when if that's gonna play into this Captain America 4 movie at all. I don't know when else she would pop up or if it would just She-Hulk is a lawyer, so I could see maybe it pops in there.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it could have something to do with that too. Who knows?